20 years old. I'm robbing my mother. I'm robbing everything in the house.
So I just wanted to introduce the world to Jersey Jerry.
I'm going to this treatment center, that treatment center, trying to get sober. I'm doing heroin. I'm smoking crack. I'm getting arrested. My mom goes to get her coffee. I was next to a dumpster. She finds me. She picks me up, crying, and I'm crying. She's like, hey, we got to send you far away. Joe, when does it stop? And he's like, what the fuck do you mean, when does it stop? I'm tired of getting arrested. I'm tired of getting locked up. I'm tired of having my mom cry. And he looked at me and he started crying. And he said, it'll never stop until you stop. So I just stopped and I never looked back. I was in treatment with 87 kids. You know how many people stayed sober since the start? 1. That's just what the statistics are. You just gotta, hold on and don't give up. It might not take you one time to get it, and God willing, you see the day where, you're not in a casket or a jail cell. Something will change. You don't give up. Dude, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'd give up the Barstool shit in a second, dude. I don't want to say this the wrong way. It was always Jersey Jerry, a blue-collar union 855 pipe fitter till I die.
I'm Adam Breneman.
This is
Next up. Wild. Next up. Well, I appreciate you, you coming, man. We're at Super Bowl week in Arizona. Crazy week, but it's been a long time coming, man. I'm glad to have you on. And you've had what's it been, a year or two since you kind of yourself's really taken off? And
yeah, dude. I started in the content game like about 3.5-4 years ago, but like this last year, it's really gone to the next level.
Yeah, I remember the first signs video you posted.
Yeah,
I remember like the first one, and it went down viral right away, right?
Oh yeah.
And didn't it hit the first one?
Yeah,
you
the
posted?
first one ever hit. So it's like people are like, now, okay, I gotta follow this guy. This guy's like a genius, like far from a genius, bro.
Yeah. When you're out here, with all the Barstool guys, like, what's a week look like? Like, what are you guys doing at the Super Bowl? Is it just like shows all week, all the time?
Yeah. So pretty much how it works is, we'll have a schedule, and it's like, hey, 9 a.m. Bussin' with the boys are doing this. 11 a.m. we're gonna do the Yak. 1 o'clock PMT has Kirk Cousins on, and then 5 o'clock every day is Barstool Radio at the new Barstool bar in Scottsdale. 7 o'clock yesterday we had the dozen trivia, so our days are like full. But now my stuff at least is out the way, so now I'm just chilling now.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about your relationship with our mutual friend Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
And how that's developed. And it must be cool for you being a Steelers fan. And,
Oh, yeah.
And you guys, he seems to be as big of a fan of you as you are of him. So how did that develop?
Yeah, it was like kind of random, listen, I don't watch college football. I've said that openly in the past. And like, you got like a guy following you now. It's like Kenny Pickett, quarterback, Pittsburgh Panthers, like, okay, cool. Like, that's fine, like not a big deal to me because I don't care about college football,
Yeah.
So, we followed each other, and just, he'd give me a like here. I'd give him a like there. He would like DM me like with a laughing emoji. I'd be like, oh, thanks, appreciate it. And just like that, bro, just the communication started. And, as it got closer to the draft, I started chirping him a little bit like, yo, you're going to be a Steeler. You know that, right? And he was like, for your sake, yeah, probably. But hey, I wouldn't mind going there, He thought he'd probably go to the Saints or the Panthers, I think.
Yeah.
But when he got to Pittsburgh, immediately when I texted him and it had my picture went viral on him, it was like a snapshot of him, and he was he actually said something. He like commented on my Instagram, and then that's when we started to like develop a relationship. But yeah, dude, just a good cat all the way around.
He's such like so down to earth and like just like a guy's guy.
Oh, he's a guy's guy, bro.
Yeah, like not a prima donna at all.
No, furthest thing.
He was actually my first guest ever on the podcast.
Wow.
That's how I got started.
How'd you contact him?
It was through his quarterback the coach
Tony?
that trained him. Different Jim Cantafia when
Gotcha.
he was in high school, when he was really young,
Okay.
was my high school head coach. So I'm 3-4 years older than Kenny, maybe even more. So we got to know each other through that, and just same thing, like stayed in touch over social media. And then I just DM'd him and I was like, "Yo, you want to do the podcast?" He was like, "Yeah." This was right when he was in the draft process. So he's a great dude, and he's out here now too, right?
Yeah, he's out here now.
Yeah. Yeah. Wanted to ask you about. I went to Penn State, and you were at Penn State wrestling game recently, right?
Yeah, Penn State, Iowa.
What was that experience like?
Dude, that was my first ever wrestling match, like in person, live. And I'll tell you what,
It's crazy at Penn State.
oh,
right?
dude,
Yeah.
it was wild. Now there's some people that'll DM me like, hey, you might have thought Penn State was great, but you need to come to Carver Hawkeye, you know, in Iowa. So, you know, I've only been to one. I've been to two now live. Pittsburgh invited me to UNC wrestling a couple days ago, so I went there, but totally different atmosphere than Penn State. Penn State is just electric, bro, and I can't wait to go back.
There were a lot. Wasn't Michael Parsons there too? Was that the same game?
Yeah, dude. So we were messaging. It was we were texting each other, and he couldn't like find me, and like the service was terrible there.
Oh, so bad. Yeah.
So we were texting each other. He's like, "Yo, where are you at?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm here." I'm like, I'm looking at you, and we were trying to call each other, but the calls were just dropping, and like I'm like, dude, I'm texting him. I'm staring at you, bro. You're across from me. I'm in the first row possible. He had a little bit better seat, like right next to the mat. But yeah, we couldn't get in touch. And then like finally I was like to the security, I'm like, yo, look, I'm texting him, bro. Just go get him and bring him over here. So he went over. He's like, dude, what the I've been texting you. I'm like, I've been texting you back. But yeah, he's a good dude, Micah.
Are you you're a big wrestling fan?
Yeah, you know, over the last 3 years, it kind of developed that way. Like all my buddies in high school wrestled. I went to one practice and you know, I wasn't with the weight cut. I wasn't with that. I wasn't with, hey, you got to watch what you eat now. Yeah, and like 45 minutes in, I turned to my buddy and I'm dripping sweat. I'm like, dude, I can't do this. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I quit and I started to follow it about, I'd say 3 years ago when my buddy at work was watching a clip of the Big Ten tournament. And I was like watching this one guy wrestle. I'm like, yo, this dude's a beast, bro. And I followed him, you know, on social media and stuff and seen all his matches. And I just like, I'll get into it.
That's sweet. I've never really gotten into the whole wrestling scene, but at Penn State, obviously, like, you know, you're kind of a bandwagon fan. If you're when I just watch when they're in the national championship and stuff like that.
Well, they have a great wrestler now. They have a bunch, dude, honestly.
Right? Yeah.
But this one kid I know I'm close with, RBY. Okay. He is amazing, dude. You should get to know him and watch him. He'd be a great guest.
Yeah,
he's a good dude to talk to.
Dude, Stevie, who's our boy who wrestles at Penn State? Donovan Ball. Donovan Ball. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, our boy Donovan. We went to high school with him. He wrestles for them. I don't know if he's a starter, but I know that he like fills in if like somebody's like hurt or something.
Yeah, they had that dude David Taylor too, who was a Olympian. Then.
Yes, he messaged me. You know, appreciate the effort of trying to grow wrestling and stuff. He was a good dude. I met him in person when I was there. So good dude.
I want to ask you about your journey, the ups and downs you've been through, your sobriety, which you've talked about a ton. You know, I remember when you posted that video that went viral. I forget what was like
maybe the 7-year anniversary video.
Yeah, I think it was that, which was a really cool video.
Yeah,
and that shit actually made me
I think
up.
I'm not even kidding. Like it impacted me. Yeah. It was you're such a funny dude, and like everything you do is so funny that like when you are serious, like everyone listens, right? Because they don't expect it.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear about that kind of journey and you know, what kind of led you to this point today.
Yeah, you know, I could talk for hours about it, but like, dude, man, I struggled for a long time. Like, you know, I remember like 17, 18 years old getting involved in the wrong crowd. And then, you know, it happened so fast, the decline, you know, and like it got to the point where I'm 20 years old. I'm robbing my mother. I'm robbing everything in the house. My mom's not letting me back in. I'm going to this treatment center, that treatment center, trying to get sober. Yeah. I'm doing heroin. I'm smoking crack. I'm getting arrested, you know what I mean? I'm lying, I'm doing all these things, and it ended up to being, I was 21 years old, I was next to a dumpster, and my mom goes to get her coffee, and, you know, she finds me, she picks me up, and she's like, you know, like crying, and I'm crying, she's like, hey, we gotta send you far away. Like, because all the treatments I went to were always in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So I never really got that chance to get like a change of scenery. Mm-hmm. I think it helped me personally. I can't speak for other people, but it helped me. I got on a plane pretty much a couple days later, thankful to a recovery center out in Scottsdale. They scholarshiped me because insurance was done with me at that point. They told my mom, you know, I was under my mom's insurance at the time, and insurance pretty much went back and told her and me, like, yeah, we're done. We're not covering this fucking kid anymore. Like, he's been to 14 different treatment centers. He can't get it right. We're all out of money, so figure it out. Yeah. So send me off to a plane to Scottsdale, and pretty much she's like, you know, don't come home. She said, just don't come home. Make your life out there. And I stayed there for 3.5 years. I became an electrician out there. And, you know, for the first time, I took it serious. When I went there, my mentality was, I'm going to do the 90 days. I'm going to go home and I'm going to cause chaos again. But, you know, something changed in there. And I always revert back to this story. I was about 30 days sober, I'd say, somewhere around there. And I looked at my counselor, who I say this guy changed my life and saved my life because he did. And of course my mom did, but he also played a bigger part. And I looked at him and I said, when does it stop? I was like, Joe, when does it stop? And he's like, what the do you mean, when does it stop? I'm tired of getting arrested. I'm tired of getting locked up. I'm tired of having my mom cry. I'm tired of stealing, all these valuable things in our houses, And he looked at me and he started crying and he said, it'll never stop until you stop. So I just stopped and I never looked back.
So from that point forward, you were sober.
Yeah, I was sober the day I got in there, July 4th, 2015. That's my sobriety date. But I didn't have that change of mindset really until that day. And I started to take it serious. And I started sticking with the people who I know were doing the thing. And I look back and I say to myself, I was in treatment with 87 kids in there. And this is not tooting my own horn, but you know how many people stayed sober since the start? 1.
Wow.
That's just what the statistics are.
Wow.
That's just what they say, They say 1 out of every 100 people will stay sober for 5 years plus. It's wild.
Yeah. So do you think there's an issue with the system, like the rehab system, or why are those numbers so bad?
I think the numbers are so bad because I don't want to say this the wrong way. I think not enough people care.
Yeah.
I think they look at drug addicts like junkies and people who will never change, I think the world puts a really bad outlook on this is a disease at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's not like, this is some thing, you were born with. I don't believe that, dude.
Yeah.
At all. My sister, we come from the same genetics. She's amazing. She's smart. She graduated college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I think not enough people really give a
Yeah.
I really do at the end of the day. And I think there's not a lot of people out there that really do it for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. Now, the rehab business, you guys might not know this, but it's a money pit, bro.
Really?
It costs $1,000 a day. If you don't have insurance, it's $1,000 a day to stay there. Who can afford that? Who can afford that? Millionaires.
So for a 90-day stay, it's
90 grand without insurance. So either you have insurance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or your family is super rich. The other option is a state-funded facility, which you can get sober anywhere, right? Are they the best? Probably not.
Yeah.
But those are your options, I think, the world has to, do something different, man. People have to look at this like they're regular people just like you, just like anybody, we're not bad people. We do bad things when we're in the grips of addiction for sure, but at the end of the day, we're not bad people.
Yeah.
Do you think that now that you have the platform that you have and you get to connect with guys, I've seen you do stuff with Max Crosby, Dan Waller, do you think that you spinning in a positive way, I think obviously that's amazing. Do you think that that's something though that you take pride in and you think is a way to help people?
Oh, dude, I'd give up the Barstool shit in a second, dude. Barstool's great. Don't get me wrong. I love Barstool. I love what it's all about. If you can tell me, Jersey Jerry, well, you're gonna own this rehab, this sober living, I'd rather do that than the Barstool gig. That's my passion. You know what I mean? I love talking it up with people who have a lot in common with me. It feels so good when you get a message from a mother who's been struggling for years trying to save her son's life. And, she messages you and she says, Jersey Jerry, thank you so much. My son started listening to your podcast and he's 2 weeks sober now. Dude, that's what it's about, dude. Yeah. I don't give a about the Barstool shit. I could be the funny guy there. That's great. I can make people laugh. I love it. Don't get me wrong. That holds so much more weight.
Yeah, and I saw, didn't they pull a producer off a friend of Jerry? I saw your tweet.
Yeah,
I'm still doing this.
Yeah, dude,
it's something that you obviously have a lot
for sure,
of
dude. Is it gonna, my mom always messages me because dude, it's tough. This business, the podcast, it's not easy, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you don't got a guest, it's super hard, bro. And it's some people in the sobriety game, some people don't want to talk about that stuff, But for me, I do it because I love it. I don't give a if 10 people watch my video. I don't care. If one person messages me and says, Jerry, great episode, got me through the day, that made my day. That's all what it's about,
What's the biggest piece of advice that you would give someone who was in your shoes, who's currently in a place that you were?
You know, the advice I would give, and you know, it sounds so cliche, but it's like, you know, you just don't ever give up. You know what I mean? I think I got that tatted on me. Oh no, I got hold on tatted on me. You know, you just gotta, you know, hold on and don't give up, because dude, it might not take you one time to get it, you know, and God willing, you know, you see the day where, you know, you're not in a casket or a jail cell, you know, something will change. You know, you just keep putting in the work, you hold on, you don't give up, dude, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? So that's like my biggest thing is, you know, like Conor McGregor said this, you know, in one of his interviews, like, they've been laughing at me my whole life. Like, dude, you know how embarrassing it must have been for my mom to go to the local grocery store and like, she's seen it, bro. Like other families in the town, like whispering like, oh, that's Jerry's mom. You know, he's a junkie. He's begging for money at the Wawa. You know what I mean? Like, no, how embarrassing it must have been for her. But man, I just never gave up, dude. I just kept going and I didn't stop. And once I finally had a year sober, I said to myself, man, I love this life.
Yeah. I want to dive more into the period after you talked about the moment that you decided, you know, it stops now. I want to talk more about kind of the next like couple of years after that. Like, you know, that's a long process coming back from that. What was there a point where you got a big break or something kind of switched and you know, like did you get a job? Like what was it? Sure. What was that?
Dude, so I was in Arizona and I started off bagging groceries. I didn't want to bag groceries, but you know, my counselor was like, you're going to take the first job that offers you a paycheck. Sure enough, I applied. I didn't want the job. I was like, hey, Jerry, you're going to bag groceries. Whatever. It. I humbled myself. I bagged groceries. And I said, this, dude. I'm going to lie on Indeed. So I lied on an application saying I was a master electrician. Dude, I am not a master electrician, bro. I lied. I got the interview. And I go to the interview, and the first thing I say, I give my license, right? And he's like, what the are you doing here from New Jersey? And I was honest with him. I said, hey, I lied on my application. I have this much time sobriety. I'm willing to work for minimum wage, and I'll be your hardest worker, I promise you. And he started to cry. I was like, what the this dude's crying. And he looked at me, true story. And he looked at me, and he said, you know, Jerry, I just celebrated 25 years sober a couple weeks ago. So there was the connection right there. I got my break. Now I'm making $15 an hour, right? I'm learning a trade. And eventually I got the call, you know, after some experience there, I got the call back in New Jersey, which is one of the biggest utility companies in the nation, public service. I applied. I was an electrician now, you know, I applied and I got the job, and I asked my mom, and, you know, I said, my dad was in prison at the time. And I said, you know, would it be okay if I move back home? I'll fix up the basement and stuff like that. I could do all these things now. You know, I know how to do these things. I learned a trade. And she said, no problem. You're welcome back home. So went back home, worked for one of the biggest utility companies in the country. Loved it. And I started making funny videos. And, you know, that's when a guy named Bobby Burger found me.
And who's Bobby Burger?
So he's Brilliantly Dumb.
Got it.
I don't know if you ever heard of them. He does Bob Does Sports.
Yeah.
So he found me. I was a radio caller, like
what do you mean?
Harassing Francesa, harassing guys like Will Kane, WFAN. You know what I mean? I would harass these guys. I would give my takes, and then it got to the point where a guy named Will Kane had me on like a regular guest. You know, he would see my number pop up. The producer was like, "Oh, Jersey Jerry's calling. Get him on. Get him on." You know, Bobby Burger found me through there pretty much, and he was like, hey, you know, let's do something. Come on my show, you know? So I went on his show and I loved it. You know, it was really, really great. We worked together for a couple years, and that's when the Barstool gig happened.
When you were a radio caller, give me an example of the thing you
I would just do stupid stuff.
Will Kane, some of the Will Kane videos are all time.
Yeah, like, you know, I would talk. He was a big Cowboys fan, so I would, you know, there's a clip on my Instagram. Like, I told him I'd rather have Brucey from The Longest Yard as my quarterback over Dak. You know, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. That's awesome. The Barstool gig.
Yeah.
What was the first point of contact you had with Barstool? Like, how did that come about?
2000, Clemson versus Alabama, 2018. I had the Steelers video that went viral, and Barstool and Dave invited me over to an event they were throwing. So I went there, took some pictures. You know what I mean? You know, people loved the Steelers video, the freak out video. Dave, we had each other's number and stuff. And for some reason, bro, this is the wildest thing to me. I should have been at Barstool in 2018.
Yeah.
But I'm here now, so it's all good. I had his number for years, bro. And I didn't know. I forgot I had it. And I would message them my videos. I'm like, oh, post this for me, post this. This is a funny video. They would read it. They wouldn't post it. Like, these motherfuckers, bro. Like, my shit's funnier than half these motherfuckers here. And I was going through my contacts one day, and I was like, what the Dave Portnoy? I was like, I got this motherfucking number. So I text him. I was like, yo, it's Jersey Jerry. 1 second. Hey, what's up? So I'm like, I want a job. So that's kind of how it started.
And then that's hilarious.
Dude. He offered me a job. I said no. I went there. I said no.
Really?
I didn't want to leave the union. I had such a good job
Yeah.
in New Jersey where I didn't want to leave. I'm getting 40 hours overtime. I'm working 80 hours.
Yeah.
I'm having 40 hours overtime. You know what I mean? I'm killing it. Downside, you don't get to be home and whatnot, but that's okay. But yeah, dude, like, I don't know. I didn't want to leave there. It was such a good job. And I told Dave, hey, I want to be part-time. It's like, no, you're either with me or you're not. Full-time or nothing. It's like, no, I'm not taking the job. The whole time things are coming up, Kevin Connolly reaches out to Bobby Berger and me, hires us, and we work for him part-time. So I have the union job.
Yeah.
And then I'm making $50K on the side, which might be peanuts to some people, but
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money, bro. $50K on the side. You know what I mean? To do a show once a week and put out some videos.
Yeah.
I'll do it. So I was doing that, and then he got drunk one night, and he fired Bobby, and Bobby's my guy, and I'm like sitting there for 2 weeks, like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, reaching out. He's not answering me. He's like, then like out of blue one day, an editor calls me. He's like, hey, Jerry, Kevin says you're fired. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker didn't even have the decency to just tell me.
Wow.
Anyway, I don't give a he's a scumbag. I said it multiple times. I'll say it wherever I go because got to bring awareness to this. You know what I mean? Just like I bring awareness to the disease of addiction. This motherfucker's a scumbag, bro. He fires me, whatever. I go back to Dave. Dave's like, told you, don't go there. Begged for the job, didn't get it. So one day I just said, it. I sent a text him. I was like, if you don't hire me, it'll be the biggest mistake you ever make.
Wow.
And he says, come in. So I come in, I go to him, we do another interview. I said, I'm willing to work full time this time, but you're going to give me 3 months. I'll work part time for 3 months without pay. I don't want to be paid. I'll come in here after I get out of my union job a couple times a week, 2 or 3 times a week. I'll get here at 3:30 on the dot p.m. I'll be in the office. I'll do what you need me to do. I'll put out videos. I'll make content, and I'm not going to get paid. He's like, perfect. I'm not paying you for 3 months, so don't ask again. I went on for 1 day, and I got hired.
Wow.
And then he said, you got the job. He texted me the same night. He texted me. He's like, hey, I'm going to hire you. You don't need to work for free anymore.
Wow. When you go to Barstool and you start and you're now full-time, what does that entail? Is it like you got to create a certain amount of videos? Is it you just got to create content? Like what they do that, like how's that operation work?
The thing that I love the most about Barstool is Dave lets you do whatever the you want to do.
Yeah.
He really does. And if you're good enough at it, they put resources behind it to help you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I really appreciate that aspect of it. Barstool's really cool, dude. Like, I'm getting into the college wrestling thing now, and it's like, I'm messaging back with Hank and some producers and stuff like that. Hank's, grown in the company, so a lot of stuff has to go through him now. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get into the wrestling. I was like, you guys fly me out to some of these events, put me in a hotel room, I'll make some content, and I will, I'll put out some good videos and stuff like that. No problem. We'll see how the first couple times go, and if it's good, we'll keep going.
Yeah. I can't stop thinking about you scrolling on your phone and finding Portnoy's number.
Dude.
Years after DM.
I mean, it was 3 years I had it, and I had no idea I had it.
Hilarious.
Yeah, like, I don't have another Dave in my phone that I would text regularly. Like, it's wild, dude.
It's so good.
So you get to Barstool and you said that they allow you to pretty much like do whatever you want. And then they start pulling you on some of like the bigger shows like Barstool Sports Advisors and stuff like that. So is that something that like you kind of were aware of that might go, or you were just like meshing with people very well and they were like, let's bring you in and like let's do this?
Dude, I was never a stoolie. Like, I never knew how it all worked, I just knew Dave and Big Cat. Like, because you would see their videos. I love Dave, dude. He's my funny motherfucker, Big Cat. So funny. Just a football guy, loves sports, you know what I mean? So I always like connected with those guys, but I was never a stoolie. I never knew any of the other shows. I didn't know what it all entailed. But, you know, when I got there, it was like taken back a little bit like, oh shit, like now I'm on these shows, you know what I mean? But I don't know, dude. I didn't expect it, but I'm happy it happened.
We were talking earlier about there's some pull to try to get you to Chicago, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, Big Cat, you know, he wants me to go, and I would like to go.
Yeah.
I really would like to go. But, you know, I do have a family, you know, I have a son, I have a girlfriend that, you know, I have to take care of. So a lot of this comes down to money and how much, you know, can Barstool afford, you know, contract time. I don't really have an agent. I don't really care for an agent. Yeah. I'm not giving a mother 10% of my money. Like my cousin's a lawyer, so I'll just send shit to him, you know. I mean, he graduated Villanova Law School, so he's pretty smart, you know. Send shit over to him once in a while, and he'll read through it, you know. Hey Jerry, this is no good. Hey Jerry, this is good, you know.
Yeah. When's your contract up?
September.
Okay, all right.
September, so we're getting close,
All
dude.
right.
Getting close. I signed a 2-year deal. Dave wanted to sign me to 3, and I'm like, nah, I'm not signing a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that worked out well for you.
Yeah.
Bet
I'd
on
say
yourself.
so, dude. I'd say so, dude, because like that was like the biggest thing a lot of people said. If you believe in yourself, right? I'd rather sign 1-year deals all the time.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get locked in to a deal for 3, 4, 5 years unless I'm super established, like a guy like Big Cat, a guy like Dave. You know what I mean? I don't think I'd ever sign a deal like that unless I know, like, okay, I'm here now. I made it. I could sign.
Making a ton of money.
Yeah, I could sign a 4 or 5 year deal. I'll bet on myself every day of the week until then. I'll sign 1 and 2 year deals all the time.
When it comes to then the contract negotiation part, how's that work at Barstool? Do you just talk to Dave, or is it?
Dude, it was like the weirdest negotiation of all time. Like, I wanted a certain number, right? I wanted a certain stock. I wanted some pizzas, and I wanted Steelers tickets once a year, and Dave did it. So it's like it's like not traditional, bro. It's not like you're sitting there in an office, you know what I mean? And it's like Dave, Erica, other people on the top of the company. And you're like, hey, we want to do this and that. No, it's not that. I just tell them what I want. If they say yes, great.
So like the original video when you came on, you like legit being like, I need my pizzas. Like that's all. Like,
well, I knew Dave had like
contract.
I know Dave had like a pizza company. You know what I mean? Starting up the One Bite Pizza. So I was like, F it, dude. I'll eat for free on a Friday night for me, my son, and my girlfriend. So give me 2 pizzas a month.
Yeah, they're pizzas.
Yeah.
2 pizzas. That's actually in the contract.
Yeah, 2 pizzas a month. And then it got to the point where like I texted Dave. I was like, hey, you know, they stopped sending pizza to the office. You know what I mean? So one day I found they had a deep freezer. So I went there in the deep freezer one time. I took like 10 pizzas. They brought them all home.
Is that going to be part of the next contract?
No.
You're past that a little bit?
No, Steelers game will be in the next contract though.
Okay.
Definitely.
Every game?
No, they would never let me go to every game. I wish. But
Oh, yeah. You got,
Did they give you tickets to go to a game this year?
this year, yeah.
What's your process when you're making content? You know, like you have the art down to how you actually go viral all the time.
Yeah.
You know, what's your process when you're thinking of a video, when you're thinking of a concept? Does it just come to you because you're naturally funny? Or?
Yeah. So, dude, a perfect example. Like, I'm dusting my son's room, right?
Yeah.
And my grandmother never got the chance to meet my son, so I keep her ashes in his room. And, you know, I'm dusting his room. We're doing like a Saturday clean, you know what I mean? I go take the ashes. I go to the laundry room to get the pledge. No free ads. I get the pledge, and I stub my toe on like the ledge going into the laundry room, and the ashes fall on the ground and they break. And I'm like, oh shit, this is so f***ed up. You know what I mean? My mom's gonna kill me. And I was like, it just clicked. It was like, hey Jerry, you're in the content game now. Like, it'd be pretty funny if you film this. So like, it just comes, dude. I don't know what it is, and I just make a video and then they go viral. But the thing is, like, I don't try to go viral ever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sitting behind my phone is like looking, hey, I got to do this, this, and this to go viral. Like, it just comes natural. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and that's probably why you go viral.
Probably.
Because you're not trying to.
Probably.
You know? Like the people who try never usually do, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, the thing is with me is I think the reason for some of my success is I just never changed.
Yeah.
I just stayed the same, you know, whether it was with Bob, with Brilliantly Dumb, with Kevin Conley, with Barstool. Like, I've been the same guy throughout the whole entire process.
Was there a point in the last couple of years where something happened where you kind of crossed the line from being like a guy that people knew to like you're actually celebrity status now? Like, people know you in public. People come up to you. Was there something that was it? Maybe like, was it the signs videos? Like, was it the coming to Barstool? What was the moment where you're like, oh, like, everyone kind of knows who I am now?
You know, it was the first time someone ever recognized me. I don't know what video it was or what it was, but the first time I was out to dinner. It was me and my girlfriend. We went to some shithole place. Ew, I mean, it was a disaster. I mean, the food was terrible. I'm not even gonna say the name because I don't want to bury them. It was a very bad meal. So we're sitting at the table. And the waiter comes up to us and he's like stuttering and like he can't get the words out. And I'm like looking at my girlfriend like, dude, what's going on? He's like, you Jersey Jerry, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm Jersey Jerry. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry, but before you order, can I just get a picture? I was like, okay, no problem. He's like, okay, can you meet me by the bathroom? And I'm like, what? What's going on? I was like, why can't we? He didn't want his boss to see him, I guess.
Oh, got it.
So I'm like, I was like, oh, babe, I'll be right back. So I go and I'm like, we take a picture and he's like shaking my hand and he's like, dude, I am such a big fan of yours. I went back to the table. I'm like, man, what the just happened, dude? Like, that never happened to me in public before. So I don't know what video it was. I don't know what it was, but that was the first time I said to myself, like, oh shit, people know who the I am, you know?
Does it ever get surreal for you? Like, what, especially like last night, you're at the Barstool bar. I mean, how many people come up to you, know who you
hundreds,
are?
bro.
But does it ever get like, I mean, that's especially thinking about your story and where you come from, does that ever like hit you? You're like, you know, like this shit's wild. Hundreds of people are asking for pictures and coming up to you.
It's pretty wild to me, but like, dude, I'm the type of dude you want a picture, let's do it. I'm excited. You know what I mean? Let's take a picture. And it's not just a picture. Hey, what's up? How you doing? How long are you in town for? What football team do you like? You know what I mean? That's because people who just like take a picture and like that's kind of it. Great, you took a picture with the guy, but imagine you start a conversation with that guy, like, hey, how long are you in town? That goes so much further, bro. Now those people are like, I had a 5-minute conversation with Jersey Jerry, you know? And I don't do that every single time because like last night, it's hard to do that all the time, but you know, you can do it a couple times a night and really get to know somebody and maybe not get their full story, but hey, you know, this dude was a Redskins fan. Then Steelers play the Redskins a couple weeks from now, let's say, you know, and it's like he's messaging me, hey, Jersey Jerry, remember we talked about the Redskins? Oh shit, yeah, I remember you. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
Commanders.
Don't get canceled.
It's always been the Redskins for me though.
What's your favorite part of the job of Barstool? Like what is it? You know, what kind of content? What show? Like what's your favorite thing that you do?
Ooh, I really got to like Barstool Sports Advisors.
Yeah.
I really like that show a lot. You know, I told Dave too. I mean, he's really not needed anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm here now.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Yeah.
Go retire in Miami.
You're good.
I'll be with Big Cat. I love those guys. You know, I feed off of those guys. Those are great guys. But yeah, Dave's not needed no more there.
Yeah.
So I like that show a lot. Stu's a great dude. Big Cat's a really good dude. And it's a really big show. I didn't realize how big it really was until I actually got on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, they do like 150, 160 on YouTube. Like, that's okay. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Ton. Dave's time, like day to day with Barstools, could be coming to an end soon, right? It didn't. Isn't his I just saw something. With it.
So Barstool officially sold everything, you know, to Penn. So Dave is removed, but he's really not though, because I think he's still in charge of like content hirings, contracts, and stuff. Maybe not to the extent he was, but he still has a say. You know, if I go out there and I'm like, you know, renegotiating, let's say years down the line with Penn, and Penn's like, no, Jerry, I think this is too much money. Maybe I think I can get to the point where it's like, hey, Dave, I think I'm worth this. Hopefully you do. Yes, Jerry, I think you do. I'll put in the word to Penn. I think they should keep you. That's how I think the relationship's gonna, you know, be in the near future.
Got it. What's the vibe like in the Barstool office every day? Like, is it just you just never know what you're gonna get? I mean,
Yeah.
who's the guy? Who's that dude that's so
Frank the
fun?
Tank?
Frank, yeah, Frank. You know what I'm
the
talking
tank's
about?
always going on.
Yeah,
Dude,
try
this
living
shit's-
next door to him.
This shit's so
It's my
funny.
neighbor.
Is he really?
Yeah, yeah. We go for walks all the time.
I would love to just. We need to have him on the pod.
Oh, dude, you like him a lot.
Yeah.
He's the best guy going. He's nice. He's genuine. He's a diehard fan of his teams.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing with Barstool is you walk in every day and you really never know what you're gonna get. You know, like shit happened in this year with Barstool. I mean,
Yeah.
the Marty Rhea situation.
Yeah.
You know, Hank. You know, it's like Team Hank, Team Marty. It's like it's pretty wild shit.
Yeah.
You know.
We talked about you connecting with Kenny Pickett a little bit, but also you TJ Watt. And what's it been like building some of those relationships as well? You just had TJ on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it been like connecting with them, especially as we talked about as a fan of the Steelers,
Yeah.
as you know, having all these NFL players that you're close
For
with.
sure, yeah, dude. I mean, it's been like a dream. That part of it is like pretty cool to me. Like,
Yeah.
I love the Steelers. I'm a huge fan. Texting an NFL quarterback like of my football team is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like going to hang out, going to dinner with your quarterback, doing a podcast with TJ Watt, having other Steelers players messaging you like, "Oh, Jerry, when can I come on the show?" You know what I mean, dude? That's fucking pretty cool, dude. I love that.
That thing, didn't you post something where you had messaged TJ Watt like a million times in a row?
dude. Yeah.
I kind of remember that. Did you send him like literally 100 DMs?
Oh yeah, I mean, I abuse the DM for him, but yeah, dude. Over the years, you know, he puts up a picture and shit like that. You respond to it, he never sees it. You know, it goes back 2018, around there, 17. It all started with the DM stuff on social media. But hey, you know, I did it
When did he finally respond?
last year.
And how that happened?
I had a video that went kind of viral, but not super viral. I made like a TJ Watt wristband, and it was the year. Yeah, it was the year he won Defensive Player of the Year. I had all the stats, you know, so I had a wristband on my wrist, and it was like all these like 50 stats of why he's the best player in the league right now.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you use that as debates. You know, when people say, "Oh, Aaron Donald's the best defensive player of the year." Oh no, well, did Aaron Donald do this? And like TJ found the video. You know, he commented on it. He reposted it and stuff. So it was pretty cool. That was the first kind of interaction with him.
Is there anything in the media content game that you haven't done that you want to get into? Like anything? I'm thinking like TV. Like, is there anything that you have aspirations to do that you're not able to right now?
I don't think I'm a stand-up guy. No, not really. I really like what I do right now, dude. I can never see myself doing stand-up. Years ago, I wanted to be an actor.
Really?
Yeah, I really did. When I got sober, I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
That was my thing. Like, I really wanted to act. I don't know if that's something I could do, I should try. What's the worst that could happen? They tell me no, you know what I mean? So maybe that's something in the future that I would think about.
We get you starring in some movies, man.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
yeah, like a little Zach Galifianakis.
So you obviously do like a ton with gambling.
Yeah.
When did your like love for gambling like really come about?
You know, I would say somewhere around 2000. Listen, my dad was a bad gambler, you know, so he gambled for a long time, you know. So I always like loved sports, and I would always watch him go and gamble and stuff like that. I was like, oh, so it's pretty freaking cool, you know what I mean? He just won this amount of money, you know. So I was like, wow, you can sit on the couch, watch TV, you know, put $100 down, and you could just win $90. Like,
Money.
I was like, oh shit, you could do this, you know? And then you have the thoughts like, oh, I can do this for a living. Probably not, no. But I don't know, dude. Like once gambling started to get legalized, I started to do it a bit more, you know. And I just, you know, I do my parlays, I do some big bets, and I just chill and watch the games.
That's my vibe too.
Yeah.
I love throwing something down.
Yeah,
more
dude.
entertainment on the game.
I love the action, dude. That's the thing. I love the action. You know, I love the thrill. I'd rather win in a sweat than win in a blowout.
Yeah.
I love the sweat.
The sweat's the best.
The best, dude.
I see you go to like the horse tracks and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude.
What's
like the
a
horse track?
horse track weekend like
Oh.
with Dave and Big Cat?
Oh, dude,
because
it's
that shit's
wild.
got to be crazy.
So I didn't know this. So, you know, I got invited for the first time last year. It was like, Jerry, you want to be in the syndicate? All right, sure, no problem. Like, that's fine. Like, oh, just so you know, it's $1,000 a race. Now, there's 13 races. Now, the minimum is Dave will put $5K. his buddy Elio will put like 1,500. Big Cat will put like 1,500, $2,000 or whatever, you know. But the minimum is 1,000. So I went for the first time, and my girlfriend's pissed. She's like, "You're bringing 13,000." I have no choice. I want to be in the syndicate, babe. Like, I have
That's the price you got to pay.
I said, I have to take the 13K. Like, this is bullshit. You shouldn't be doing this. I said, we're going to win. Trust me. Could you believe we won $111,000 that day? Because you get a piece of everything.
Okay.
So if one person hits big, it gets divided up. You know what I mean? So you get a piece of everything. And like one of the races, it was like close. I think it was like the 9th or 10th race. I had $1,000 exacta, no box, straight. Dave had like $2,000 or $3,000 exacta, no box, straight. Big Cat just had the win for like $2,000. So, and these were 2 bombs, like 2 bombs. So it happens and I freak out. I'm like, holy shit. My ticket alone is $40K winning. Dave's is like $60K. Big Cat's is like $10K. And you're looking at it like, holy shit. But you know, for me, it's crazy. You know, I'm walking away out of there. If you divvy everything up, it's like I'm walking out of there with $40,000, you know? And then it's just like
Not a bad day at the track.
no, you know what I mean? And the girlfriend gets her Louis Vuitton, whatever she wants.
She was pretty happy. Huh?
It wasn't as bad that you're a part of the syndicate.
But my mom gets whatever she wants. But like, hey, sometimes you have bad days, sometimes you have good days. Just is what it is, you know.
Facts.
Do you have have you ever hit a massive bet on a football game?
College basketball last year. That was the most money I've ever put on a bet, and I'll never do it again.
How much was it?
And I won $15,000 on Creighton. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't.
Great, like a money line or a spread?
Money line. I couldn't tell you one guy that played for Creighton. I'll never do it again, ever.
How long were those 3 hours you were watching the
Oh,
game?
dude. So, like, Dave invited all of us, obviously, the March Madness stream and stuff like that. I don't give a about college basketball.
Yeah.
I really don't. Same thing goes for college football. Just me. Just my opinion.
That hurts. Yeah. Big college football guy here.
I apologize. But, yeah, we go there. And, like, you start out, you know what I mean? You start out, like, 500 on a game, 1,000 on a game, $2,000. And it's like,
15K.
and it's like, dude, you see Big Cat, 10K, 15K, 20K, Dave, 50K, 100K. It's like, I want to play with the big boys. I'm with the big boys now. Dude, if I didn't hit that bet, I would have took a serious break. Because that could have broke me. But I'm happy I hit it.
That's hilarious. That's funny, man. Was it close too? Was it game?
Oh, a
close?
sweat. Oh, a sweat. That was the Make It Permanent video.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you ever seen that one. It's a
Yeah.
funny clip.
I'll tell you one thing: the make it permanent in the group chat is very, very popular.
I love
every time that like we're down to something, a game's getting close. Everybody's like,
that's
make
great.
that shit permanent.
I love it. I love it, dude.
This dude's your biggest fan.
I love
I'm
it.
a big Jersey Jerry.
I
guy.
love it,
Big
dude.
Jersey
Since
Jerry
my
guy.
first podcast episode, Stevie was like, "Bro, you have to get Jersey Jerry on the pod."
Wow.
And this was and that's when I first DM'd you, and
Yeah.
we were going back and forth a while trying to schedule it, and yeah, man, we've been.
But how did you guys link?
So me and AB, we actually.
Oh yeah, I don't mean to cut you off. I thought you had AB in yesterday. He was saying
Yeah, I did.
he was saying we're doing AB, and I'm like, oh shit, what the? I was like, this guy wants me and AB. I'm like,
Yeah, he like walks in and he's like, "You guys had Antonio Brown on yesterday." I was like, "Nah, I call him AB. My bad."
That's so funny. Everyone calls me AB. That's funny as shit.
So I know AB from high school. I moved to his high school, met him the first day. The first thing this guy says to me is like, he was a big time college recruit. He's like, "You want to see a picture of me with all of Urban Meyer's championship rings on?" I'm like,
I was a douche. Too.
I'm like, who the is this guy? And he just pulls a picture up, and he's just got like 5 national championship rings
I'm
on.
like 16 years old.
So we went to high school together. We went to Penn State together.
Hell yeah.
We were at UMass together for a year. So we've been boys for a
Yeah.
long time.
that's awesome, bro.
Dude, I played at UMass for 2 years, and we weren't very good, but we were balling out. You know, I was an All-American a couple of years, and then
That's good.
we brought him. He came to
You weren't an
UMass.
All-American.
No, he didn't play. Yeah.
Obviously.
He didn't play, dude. So he didn't even go to school at UMass. I go to our head coach, and I'm like, I need my guy to just come be part of the program.
Wow.
So He comes up to UMass, just moves into our house, and doesn't even really do anything with the football program, but somehow, being the way he is, finesses his way into the travel roster. First away game is flying with the team.
Holy shit.
I literally drove up to UMass in a 26-foot Penske yellow truck with my bed and like 2 boxes in the back.
Oh yeah, dude.
And we get up there. My first day, they had me like moving Powerades and shit. And then I would go into the equipment staff, and they're like, just start shooting the shit with them. And then they're like, "Do you want to come to Temple with us this weekend?" It's like, oh yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah,
bro.
that's sweet, man. And then, you know how I knew you were a good guy too? When you messaged Stevie and you said, "I'm running a little bit late today." I was thinking you were going to be like pushing an hour back, and you were like, we were scheduled for 11. You said, "I'll be there at 11:05." Yeah.
That's not late.
I was sweating like, "Oh, we got to move the whole time." That's not late, man.
No.
That's not even a good guy.
Dude.
You give us a 5-minute notice.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
funny.
I didn't realize how close you guys are to me.
Yeah. Where are you guys staying at?
I'm a 2-minute drive. I'm on North Scottsdale Road.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, this is a place. We're right in the middle of the scene, man.
Oh
This is-
yeah. Oh yeah, dude. The best. Scottsdale's amazing.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, this week it's like with waste management.
Oh, for
and
sure.
Super Bowl.
And for me, it's like where my story started. You know, I got sober in
yeah,
Scottsdale.
that-
you
yeah,
know?
that's
So like that's how it all came full circle for me.
So do you like this area? Like, could you ever see yourself?
I
being
think
here
it's
again?
one of the best places to live
Yeah,
in the country.
yeah.
I really do.
Other than July and August.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. But like we're in the winter, bro. We can still go in the
amazing.
pool, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes it easier too when you wake up every single day, not a cloud in the sky.
No, mountains,
Mountains
dude.
everywhere.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I live in Philly, and I was talking to there's like when it's like cold, there's like actual like seasonal depression. Like
I believe that.
And when you're out here, like you just don't feel that. at
No,
all,
dude,
you know?
not at all.
It's amazing.
Not at all.
I wanted to ask you what the best piece of advice you've ever gotten is.
Best piece of advice that I ever got. Oh man, it's a tough one. Because I got a lot of great advice over the years, you know. But the best one was, you know, surround yourself with the right people, stick with the winners. You know, the whole saying, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. You know what I mean? I don't have many friends, but the people I do have that I call my friends are like family. You know what I mean? And I want to be around people. I don't want to be around people who are just, you know, eating potato chips on their mom's couch and, you know, have no aspiration to do anything. You know, I want to be surrounded by people who have a vision, who have a dream, and they chase it, you know, because ultimately that's what I want to do. I'm chasing a dream, you know what I mean? Is it a long shot? Probably. Am I trying to build generational wealth for my son? Of course I am. You know what I mean? Am I trying to set up my mom in a spot where she can retire? Yes, dude. I'm trying to do all those things. But what I learned is you surround yourself with the right people, right? And you watch them, you know, accomplish their goals. It fuels you to like want to accomplish your mission.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, man. It's so true.
Yeah.
You are who you surround yourself with.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love it, man. Well, I appreciate all your time, and this has
Hell
has
yeah.
been fun. It's been cool getting to know you and hearing your story. It's inspirational, and congrats on all your success.
Thank
Stevie,
you.
any last questions, man?
You're a real one. That's all there is to say.
I appreciate it, man. This will be great.